In the far north of Ghana, where the land stretches wide and the sun rests heavy on red earth, lived a woman whose life was shaped by survival and quiet hope. Her name was Ajua. She was poor, not poor in spirit, but poor in the way that turns each day into a test of endurance. She woke before sunrise, walked long distances for water, and carried responsibilities heavier than her years. Her home was built of mud and rusted metal, and her hands were hardened by labor. Yet her heart remained gentle. Each evening, when the heat softened, Ajua sat beneath the great baobab tree. There she listened to the wind and imagined worlds beyond her village. She did not dream of wealth or luxury. She dreamed of dignity, stability, and a future where her family could live without fear of hunger. Nearly 10,000 kilometers away in the glowing skyline of Seoul lived a man who possessed everything except peace. His name was Min-Jun Lee. He was rich, powerful, and widely respected. Born into privilege and trained for leadership from a young age. He wore tailored suits, spoke confidently in boardrooms, and measured his life by schedules, profits, and expectations. Yet beneath the success, something was missing. His days were loud with responsibility, but his nights were quiet and empty. When his company assigned him to travel to Africa for a philanthropic development project, he saw it as another obligation on his calendar. He did not expect the journey to challenge his identity or change the direction of his life. Under the wide shade of a baobab tree, Min-Jun saw Ajua for the first time. She was carrying a basket on her head, walking with calm strength and steady confidence. Their first conversation was polite and cautious, shaped by distance and difference. Yet something passed between them. Curiosity grew into interest, and interest into understanding. Over the following days, Min-Jun returned to the village often. Evenings turned into shared meals by firelight, and conversations stretched beneath star-filled skies. Ajua spoke of education, of helping her family, and of building a better future for her people. Min-Jun spoke of pressure, loneliness, and a life that looked perfect but felt incomplete. Slowly, the space between their worlds began to disappear. Reality, however, does not pause for connection. Min-Jun was called back to Seoul by duty, contracts, and responsibility. Promises were spoken softly before he left, and hope lingered in the air. Time passed, messages became fewer, and silence slowly settled between them. They did not stop caring, but their lives moved at different speeds. Months turned into years. Ajua became a teacher in her village, guiding children with patience and strength. She helped introduce new ideas while honoring old traditions. Min-Jun buried himself in work, achieving greater success than ever. Yet none of it filled the quiet space in his heart. Both carried memories they never spoke aloud. 2 years later, Min-Jun returned to Ghana, not as an executive, but as a man searching for meaning. The village had changed, the land was greener, and opportunity had taken root. Beneath the baobab tree, Ajua still sat, stronger and wiser than before. This time, there were no promises of escape, only respect and understanding. They spoke honestly, without expectations. They learned that love is not always about possession, but about growth and support. As the sun lowered and the wind moved through the baobab leaves, two worlds stood side by side, no longer divided by wealth or distance. Some stories do not end in riches or cities. Some end with deeper roots and wider dreams, carried forward by quiet strength.